Welcome to the Ironwood Gym. In light of this being the new year, we are going to address the issue of all the people out there right now that are saying, I just want to be in shape. Well, what does that really mean? And this is something that's kind of a confusing topic throughout the fitness industry, throughout the strength world, as well as athletics. No one really knows what that means because the term in shape means nothing at all. Unless you're a square or a circle and you are actually in shape as being a square or a circle or a triangle or a parallelogram, you are not in shape. Okay? In shape doesn't mean anything, but we try to tie it to something, and I'm going to try to address some of those issues today. So, let's look at this first from the fitness perspective, and then we'll move on to the strength world or athletics, and then the other one. So in the fitness world, there's a lot of people that come into the fitness world only to leave it shortly thereafter. And one of the reasons is because they have no idea what they really want, and it just becomes something that they don't want to do because they don't have a clearly defined objective that they are trying to accomplish. They just want to be in shape. I don't want to lift heavy weights. I don't want to run hard. I just want to be in shape. So what do you want? That's really the question. What do you really want? For the fitness world, being in shape can mean really anything you want it to be. If you are someone that likes lifting more than liking cardio, then you're probably going to err on the side of doing more lifting and less cardio. If you like to run or if you like to do cardio, again, another term that really doesn't mean anything, cardio, then you're going to err towards all those machines and bikes and treadmills and things of that nature, or going outside and actually running. All of that can actually be a decent workout, whether you're lifting or whether you're doing cardiovascular exercise or aerobic exercise. All of that is worthwhile exercise for getting in shape. Okay, but what does it actually mean to be in shape? So you could throw some numerical things out there. I'm not going to go overboard on this, but some of the things that you could look at is, what is your resting heart rate? If you have a resting heart rate in the 60s, you're probably doing okay from a cardiovascular standpoint. Blood pressure. Is your blood pressure at a reasonable rate? Is your body weight okay and you're not carrying too much fat? Can you exercise, and I'm using the term exercise specifically there, I'm not saying working out, can you exercise for an extended period of time, 30 minutes to an hour, without cramping up, without being doubled over because you can't breathe, without having to have someone carry you out of the gym? If you can do those things and have some reasonable numbers as far as body weight, body fat, blood pressure, and resting heart rate, you're probably doing okay and could consider yourself to be in shape. Some people are going to like to take this further. You know, people that like to do CrossFit, not necessarily compete in CrossFit, but just like to do it as a workout. In other words, they are exercising, not necessarily working out or training. But people of that nature, people that just like to go in and do it, probably actually keep themselves in pretty good overall physical condition, which is really what we mean by being in shape. So for that general fitness person, there can be a wide range of things that you do. You could go in and lift weights, you could go in and do some cardio, you could do more of one than the other, or you could eliminate one entirely and just do the other. You could actually get a very good workout in just lifting weights if you lift some heavy weights and then have some either faster paced style workouts or some circuits that you do. You could actually get yourself in pretty good, both strength wise, cardiovascular wise, and aerobic wise, through just lifting weights. From a cardiovascular and aerobic standpoint, you can do intervals on any of the cardio equipment. You can do intervals out when you go outside and you try to run. You could run faster for a period of time and then slow down and jog or walk for a period of time and alternate. That would be a great aerobic workout. Any extended period of time at a continued sustained pace would be great for your cardiovascular health. So again, in the fitness world, there are no specific landmarks, but you could look at those things such as heart rate, blood pressure, body weight, and body fat. Again, you're going to have someone test you on those to make sure that you're have decent numbers, but any of those could really help you determine whether you're actually in shape or not. And along with that, you have the individual standpoint, which I'm not going to go into any depth, but being in shape really means something different to everyone. Some people just want to be able to carry their baby without, or play with their kids without being completely out of breath and having to stop after 5 minutes. So, and some people want to do more. Some people want to really test their physical condition. Moving on, let's get into athletics. Soccer, baseball, softball, football, okay? The non-strength sports, and yes, football could almost be considered a strength sport, so could throwing and track and field, but I'm not considering those strength sports in this discussion. Strength sports will be powerlifting, weightlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, even CrossFit. So, for athletics, one of the common things you're going to hear from coaches, if you're a strength coach and you're talking to the coach of a sport that you work with, one of the common things that they're going to say is, I want my athletes to be in shape. Or some of the common things. One, I want my athletes to be in shape. Two, I don't want to see my athletes breathing hard. Three, when they come off the field, they should be able to stand and talk and have a conversation and not be bent over or breathing excessively hard. Okay, certainly all those things would play a role in whether those athletes are in shape or not. But ultimately, for an athlete, here's what really matters. Can they practice for and compete in that sport in a reasonable manner and recover so they can continue to practice, whether it be throughout a single practice session or whether they have to recover to practice again the next day? The same is true for games. Can they make it through an entire game without having to be pulled out for extended periods of time because they can't keep up? Okay, if they can be at all your practices and practice efficiently, and they can be in all the games and make it through a game without having to be pulled out because of their physical condition, then they're probably in shape for their chosen sport. Saying you don't want to see your athletes breathing hard doesn't make any sense, because the nature of many sports, most sports, is that after they give a very hard effort, they're probably going to be breathing harder. But can they recover from that exertion in a reasonable amount of time? If a soccer player gives 2 or 3 sprints and then they can't play or they cannot keep up with the team after that, they're not in very good shape. But if they can do 2 or 3 sprints, and then the nature of soccer is they're probably going to get some downtime where they're not sprinting hard, then maybe they're not even running, maybe they're just standing there for a few seconds or a very short amount of time, and then they can go again and not still be at sufficient pace for the needs of their sport, then they're probably in decent shape. Then just the fact that they're breathing hard doesn't really mean anything, but it's whether or not they can recover and go again in a reasonable amount of time. Moving on. Okay, so athletics. Be in shape, be in proper physical condition to practice for and compete in your chosen sport. When your physical condition detracts from your ability to play the sport or from your ability to practice the sport, then you'll be considered not in shape. As long as you can recover in a reasonable amount of time, you're probably okay. Moving into strength sports. It's really the same thing as athletics. The difference being that you're going to focus more on the strength aspect than any sort of conditioning aspect. With athletics, you're going to have conditioning, running, or a sport that jumps a lot, maybe a certain amount of jumping that prepares you for that sport and will prepare you from an aerobic and cardiovascular standpoint. With powerlifting, weightlifting, bodybuilding, you don't necessarily have that same component of having that cardiovascular emphasis. All right, you do need to do some sort of cardiac training to keep yourself in overall good condition. It will help with your recovery ability. Okay, it will help you recover between workouts. It will help you recover within the workout so that you can get the proper number of sets that you need to do or complete a workout. Okay, being as that it's the new year, I just tested all my lifts 2 weeks ago. Last week, I took it completely off. And I know for some lifters that is completely sacrilegious, and that would make me kind of barred from the weight room because I'm not a true lifter. Actually, all that is completely planned out. And from the amount of stress that I've had both in training and outside of training, I really did need that week off. Could I have worked out? Sure. I elected not to take the complete week off, catch up on a lot of things that I haven't been able to do around the house, around for life, that I just need to get caught up on. So it allowed me to have that time. Now I'm back in the gym and I'll be consistent again for probably the rest of the year until that point next year where I take that week off again. So what does it mean? My first workout back, sorry, I got a little bit off there. My first workout back, I just finished it, definitely squatting. I only worked up to 60%, but I was feeling it. In fact, when I first finished squatting, I bent over to grab something and I felt my hamstrings grab. Just like they wanted to cramp up, but they weren't gonna actually go to that level. But I did feel my hamstrings start to cramp up. Would I be considered out of shape right now? Absolutely. Give me 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be right back in the game and I'll be able to train with anyone. So really what it boils down to is, can I complete a workout? Can I complete a workout without being bent over on the rack, having to sit down? Can I get through all of my sets? Can I complete all the reps that I'm supposed to do in every set without having any major hindrances throughout the workout? Can I recover by my next heavy session? And definitely, this would be the worst case scenario. Today was a squat day. My deadlift day is on Friday. I'll get a lot of the same muscle groups being used there. Can I recover by Friday? I would think so at this point because I'm not training that heavy. But throughout training, that should always be a consideration. Can I recover by the next similar workout? And if you're in really bad shape, Wednesday is my bench session. I would definitely need to be recovered enough to be able to train on Wednesday. If I can't, I need to get my butt in shape. I need to get out dragging the sled. I need to get on, maybe even do some cardio, get on the elliptical, get on the treadmill and do some extended work there. Drag the sled, maybe do some light strongman stuff for an extended period of time, farmer's walk, yoke carries, things of that nature. Maybe some higher rep work in the gym, get on a belt squat, do 10 sets of 10 on the belt squat. Light, not so you are completely cramped up by the end of the session. Light so you can recover, and it will help your recovery ability long term. But the major markers are, as I've already discussed, for a strength athlete, can you get through the workout? Can you recover by the next workout? And definitely, can you recover by the next similar workout, since you'll be utilizing similar body parts. Weightlifters, similar body parts all the time. They're going to have that recovery ability even better than a power lifter. CrossFit, same thing. They do a lot of total body stuff. They need to recover very quickly. So there it is. That's kind of what being in shape is and how you determine whether you're in shape for what you need. That's really what it boils down to. Again, there's no clear-cut definition of what being in shape is or what that actually means. But when you break it down to each individual sport, whether it's strength sports or athletics or what you need or what you want in the fitness world, then you can kind of determine what being in shape would mean for you. So there you have it. Remember, always be in the pursuit of strength.